Summer is here. Summer is hot. Summer will hopefully leave in a month because I'm too hot right now. Ugh. But also, it's been kind of a different summer, hasn't it? Some of us were able to make it to the water park, others not. But if you were able to, there were some things you should be aware of. Kind of like a couple of water slides that shouldn't exist at all. Because honestly, by our standards, most water slides are pretty tame. So, find out what's so thrilling about these rides and decide for yourself whether you'd give these water slides a try. With that said though, let's begin, shall we? Our first entry is the X-TREME FASER, Germany. You can find this ride inside the Galaxy Erding Tropical Spa, just 45 minutes away from Munich, Germany. This is also possibly the only sexist ride, as this ride is suitable for men but not for women, as a record in incidents has shown that many women have hurt their private parts while riding the X-TREME FASER, and some of them have even had to be hospitalized. For that reason, this ride is now only open for male riders. The X-TREME FASER reaches speeds as high as 45 miles per hour, and for some strange reason, the high speeds and the free-falling have proven to be harmful to the female's anatomy. The park authorities don't want you to think they're being sexist. They say they're doing everything they can so both men and women can enjoy the ride without extreme consequences. Our next entry is INSANO, Brazil. Brazil is widely known for its loud carnivals and exotic landscapes that will take your breath away. Surely, the place looks like an ongoing party of colors that never stops. Being such a tropical destination, it only makes sense that the country is also home to one of the tallest water slides in the world. It's called the INSANO, and when it opened in the late 80s, it was immediately considered the tallest and fastest by Guinness World Records. This ride is as high as a 14-story building. In fact, it's so high that you can even see the Atlantic Ocean from up there. And of course, it'll take you a while to get to the top, but it'll only take you 4 or 5 seconds to make it down this steep water slide. However, I'm sure those 5 seconds will feel long. You're only allowed to ride on your back with your legs crossed, but probably that won't be a problem since you'll barely have any time or space to get into a different position. Our next entry is the AQUA Sphere, Australia. Nothing seems threatening about a ride that has the shape of a sphere. Honestly, it looks like any other regular fun ride at any water park. However, you only need to hear a few stories of what's happened inside this sphere to change your mind. To ride on the AQUA Sphere, you need to get inside a floating raft. It's all smooth and peaceful until you make it to the spheres themselves, where your draft could easily turn you around and send you down backwards. And I guess we all like a little bit of surprises and thrills, but the AQUA Sphere has been so intense that some people have gone out of it with a few injuries. One of the scarier stories is that of a kid who got thrown against the walls of the slide so hard that he left the ride unconscious. The authorities had to close the park for about 10 months so it could undergo strict testing and major improvements. Later on, though, some people came forward and admitted that there had been injuries during the testing stages before the ride even opened to the public. Our next entry is the Slide Wheel, China. You ever consider what it's like to be inside a hamster wheel? Or maybe you already tried that. But what do we get when we mix the concept of a hamster wheel and a water slide? Well, you probably get a few OSHA violations, but you also get the Slide Wheel, the first rotating and pendulating water slide in the world. But what does that mean? Well, your ride starts on a raft as you and your friends get fed into a hamster wheel and then it spits you out on the other side. Kinda like being inside a washing machine. The ride lasts a minute and a half and it sends rafts into the wheel every 30 seconds. Really, it is pretty thrilling, unique, and absolutely hard to believe. The ride itself was actually designed and made in Germany, and it's part of the Chimelong Water Park, which is a 30-minute ride from the center of Guangzhou, China, and a 2-hour ride from Hong Kong. Would you ever try this? It sounds like the experience of a lifetime. Again though, OSHA violations. Our next entry is the MASSIV Monster Blaster, USA. The next ride on this list is in the US, and only an hour away from Houston, Texas. What makes this ride so important is the fact that some people consider it to be the highest one in the world. I mean, the thing goes up before it goes down. This is one tall ride, but it's also just as long. The almost 300-meter long slide is full of all sorts of crazy turns and twists before it ends in an impressive triple drop. This ride is so outstanding that it even got into the Guinness Book of World Records as the tallest water coaster in the world. This ride is aggressive, dark, but it surely brings a lot of fun to its riders. Our next entry is Space Twister, Austria. What is the Space Twister? Well, it's basically what you get when you put together water slides and virtual reality. This impressive ride that literally takes you out of this world is in Austria, near the border with Hungary. When you ride it, you get a virtual reality headset and you can choose one of 3 virtual scenarios: dragons, aliens, and fantasy. So if you ever wondered what it would be like to ride a water slide in another galaxy or in a remote jungle, then this is probably a ride you're gonna want to try, my friend. Our next one is also in Austria, the L2. L2 is nothing for wimps, wusses, and chickens. That's what the sign reads as you approach this water slide, at least. This water slide is part of the Waterslide water park, which is very close to Hanover. As you get inside this ride, you'll get a glimpse of the Alps, just seconds before you're sent down a 14-meter-long freefall at a speed of 40 miles an hour. Right after that, you'll go through the world's first double loop, but if you're too light, you might drop out through a trap door before you reach the second loop. That definitely sounds like something that would keep wimps and chickens away, but I have the feeling that a lot of you would probably want to ride this, me included. Our next entry is 0G, USA. Were you impressed by the L2? Well, the L2 is known as the world's first double loop ride, but 0G has the tallest double loops in the world. It is at the Mountain Creek Water Park, which is a bus ride away from Manhattan. While you're at L2, you get a glimpse of the Alps, but at 0G, you get a glimpse of New York City. As soon as the trapdoor opens, you'll feel like gravity force is not on your side anymore. The ride sends you off with a very high speed, just so you can reach the heights of the loops before you come down to a very refreshing splash to end the ride. Our next entry is the Scorpion's Tail, USA. Next on the list we have the Scorpion's Tail, an intense loop-de-loop water slide that's part of the Noah's Ark Water Park in Wisconsin, USA. With a 60-degree angle and a speed of 40 miles per hour, you'll feel like your body is being flipped upside down. Coming from a height that resembles a 10-story building, this could easily make someone's heart stop. When it first opened back in 2010, this ride was the first of its kind in the US. Today, though, there are a lot of loop-de-loop water slides around the country, but this one is certainly one of the most thrilling rides out there. Now it's time for today's best pick. The picture I have for you today shows something that looks a little bit more crazy and literally out of this world. I mean, can you imagine a water slide as high as a skyscraper? Well, we don't have that yet, but at the top of this list we have two crazy water slides that'll surely take your breath away. One of them is the highest in the world and the other one is still under construction, but once it's completed, it'll be like nothing you've ever seen. Let's check them out first with Kilimanjaro, Brazil. Kilimanjaro is the name of one of the most impressive volcanoes in Africa, and also in the whole world. But also it's the name of one of the most thrilling water slides in Brazil's Aldeia das Aquas Park Resort in Rodovia. I know I mispronounced it. I do it to annoy you. This park is about 85 miles away from Rio de Janeiro. This water slide is known as the tallest slide in the world, featuring a 50-meter high drop which makes it 12 meters higher than Christ the Redeemer statue. Not only is it the tallest, but it's also been said to be the fastest one, reaching speeds as high as 57 miles per hour. It takes people exactly 234 steps to reach the top, and at least 1 in 20 people back out and step down once they see how high this thing is. For a brief period of time, it lost its title to the Waterslide in the USA, which was slightly bigger than the Kilimanjaro. Though, like I said in the intro, the Kilimanjaro was the site of a lot of brutal things and had to shut down in 2016. This was after a fatal accident. So we can say that the Kilimanjaro is still the tallest one in the world. Before we move on, do me a favor. My analytics show that only about 15% of you watching are actually subscribed. Come on guys, what's up with that? Can you guys please hit the subscribe button? You guys watch my videos every day anyway, so you might as well subscribe and keep up to date with every video we put out. Our last entry is the Sky Calibre. The Sky Calibre is still under development, but it promises to be one of the most thrilling experiences when it comes to waterslide rides. The waterslide itself is known for its 6 Gs of G-force, which means that you'll technically be flying as you go through the world's first fully vertical loop. The ride was already built and tested by Avalanche Waterslides and Sky Turtle Technologies. They say the loops are 10 meters high and all they need is a water park brave enough to commission them to bring this ride to the public. Back in 2016, it was going to open in Mountain Creek, but this never happened. Was it because of safety? Well, we hope one day this ride will make its way into a new water park. Where in the world do you think it should be, though? Which one seems the most appealing to you? Have you been on any of them? Have you realized yet that I lied and that Verrückt is actually in USA and not Germany? Well, let us know in the comment section down below. With all that said and done, that's our video for today, folks, and I will see you all next time. Later, everybody.